Welcome to Revolutionary Motion, where we show you tennis from a different perspective. Looking at the title of the video, you probably think this must be clickbait, but I promise you it's not. Even though the court seems huge, and in singles it seems like if you play against a good opponent and they are able to move the ball around side to side, you'll have to sprint to reach every single ball. There's a very easy solution for you not being fast and still being able to hit tennis balls and play at a very, very high level. Now the answer to this is not hit a hard serve and hit a hard return and just hope the ball doesn't come back. Obviously that would work as well without movement, but the real answer to this question is you want to be able to anticipate very well. The better you can anticipate, the less you have to move. Because you still have to cover the same distances, but you'll get a huge head start off of anticipating well, and you can most of the time almost walk to the ball up to a very high level above 5-0. Now, let's dive into this a little bit deeper. How does anticipation actually work? Clearly, sometimes you can see what your opponent is doing if you're reaching a certain level, and so you can see off of the position of their racket or their body that a certain type of shot is coming. But let's go one step further than that, where you can't really see what your opponent is doing for whatever reason. Either your eyes are just not good enough, or you're just not trained enough to see the differences in your opponent's movements, or your opponent just has very, very similar movements, no matter if they're going down the line or across court, hit a drop shot or a hard shot. Now, if all of those cases are happening and you still want to anticipate very well, what you have to do is you have to kind of see where you are on the court while you're hitting your shot. Now, if you are far off the court, obviously you won't be able to recover back to the center, do a split step, and then cover both sides with equal timing. And if you're very close to the center, you will be able to do that. But the question that you really have to ask yourself is, where is that limit? How far off the court can I be in a certain situation and still be able to recover back to the center and be in a good position for the next shot? So if for a given player, that spot with a given shot is maybe somewhere over here, and they feel like here I can still recover, but over here I cannot, then you already know that a good opponent will see that, and they will, as soon as you get over here, in 98% of the cases, choose to hit the next ball to the other corner. So that tells you, after you hit the shot from over here, I should probably sprint over to the other corner right away, or run over to the other corner right away. Because it is the logical conclusion to hit that next shot over to the other corner. Now, if on the other hand, your opponent doesn't see these things, obviously it becomes a lot more difficult to anticipate well. Because then that means that the opponent just has a certain goal in mind and it doesn't really matter what you are doing on the court. Now, obviously this kind of anticipation doesn't only depend on where you're positioned on the court, but it also depends on how good do you hit your shot, or how fast do you hit your shot. If you're kind of off the court and you hit the ball really hard, every opponent will just try to block it over to the other side because they know you won't have any time to recover at all and probably won't even be able to get over to the other side in the first place. So again, you should be sprinting over there right away to cover at least most of the court and be able to reach that next shot. In general, most opponents tend to go side to side when they're in the offense and just go back cross court when they're in the defense or in a neutral rally. Now, these kinds of things you can always put into your calculations by using them in that specific situation to move earlier so you don't have to move as fast to get in position. It's really important for good tennis players to know early what's going to happen next, looking at the logical conclusion that your opponent should make if they're a decent opponent, so you can start moving before the ball is even hit, be in the right corner right away, and be able to set up with much more comfort and without having to move so fast. Now obviously there are some players that are really fast And those players might think that they don't need good anticipation in order to get to the ball in time because they can rely on their footwork. And the problem for those players is that because they don't have that anticipation, they're wasting a lot of time, a lot of energy, and they will get to the ball in a much less calm situation because they have to be moving much quicker to get there. So all three of those things are things that you should try to avoid as a tennis player as much as possible. So in order to avoid that, you have to work on your anticipation, no matter if you're actually very fast on your feet or if you tend to be rather slow. If you learn to anticipate well, given the situation, given your shot, and given your opponent's talents and skills, it will be much simpler for you to get in position every single time and hit proper tennis shots without wasting a lot of energy and without putting too much effort into footwork.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.